afternoon everybody, and a very warm welcome to Behringer. And today I have a layout update for you. My apologies, it's been a little while since I last put anything up. Progress has been rather a bit slow due to work commitments. My rota has changed slightly at work, and so that's kind of made it slightly a bit more difficult for me to get any work done on the railway. However, there is some progress for me to report, and it's all to do with the Morwood nuclear flask terminal, part number 6. Now, before we go there, I wanted to show you one of my recent acquisitions, and there is actually also a catalyst for the nuclear flask terminal upgrade, because I've got a new edition, but I haven't actually got it with me at the moment. It's had to go back, so I will enlighten you with that when I get it back. But basically that was the reason really for cracking on with the nuclear flask terminal and doing a bit of an upgrade. But before we go there, I wanted to show you a couple of bits that I've done also, and also I wanted to show you another little new addition that I got, which I thought I'd show you, and that is this. And this is a classic 80s vehicle, and if you are an 80s vehicle buff, an 80s era buff, then 90s as well, then this is a real classic, and this is a Vauxhall Astra GTE. And I picked this one up about a week ago now, and I haven't actually taken it out of its box. In fact, I've actually still got the other two in their boxes as well that I showed you in one of the previous videos, and that's just purely because my town scene has been a little bit congested of late, and I'm going to sort of reorganise that at some point. But for the minute, I'll just show you that I've actually got it, and it's so cute. It's really nice. I like it a lot, and it really suits the layout really well. Now, whilst I'm here, as you can see, there's some weathering done here, which I'd already showed you previous, and the reason is, you can see my two nuclear flasks, they've been temporarily moved there, and you'll see the reason for that afterwards. But basically what I've been doing is I've also been doing some weathering along the branch line, and not only along the branch line, but also lightly along here, along the main line as well, towards Morwood station. So that's the bit, but we're going to now go over to the nuclear flask terminal, and I'll show you what I've been up to. So here we are at the new nuclear flask terminal, and there's been some really big changes here. And the biggest change that you're going to see that I've done is basically I've done that. I've now got rid of the tunnel that was here. Basically, I didn't like it. I like the idea of it seeming to go off elsewhere, but I found it so difficult to blend it in, and I found it difficult to make it believable. So I decided just to get a shot of it, and so what I decided to do is basically to create another siding and just turn that line into a siding here, and I think it makes it more believable. And I think it blends in overall better. And then the tunnel, I was finding it really difficult to kind of try and work out how I'm going to make it out that the tunnel's going to fit in and all the rest of it, so I decided just to get a shot of it. The track work is actually exactly the same as it was before. The track work hasn't actually changed at all. In terms of its configuration, it's exactly the same as it was before. All I've done is basically where this wall finished here, which is where the tunnel was, I've basically removed the tunnel, and this bit in the middle, which is where the tunnel was, I've just basically worked on this bit. When I did the backboard over there, I still had some of the gauge master roll left over, so what I've done is basically put it along this back wall, and then after blended it in towards this retaining wall along the back here, and then obviously here we'd have the arch, the bridge that I had before leading on to Morwood station. So I'm really pleased with this, because I actually think it looks so much better than it did before, and so much more believable. I've put up some of the ratio fencing I've also put up some of the foliage, fine leaf foliage from Woodland Scenics. I had a few sleepers left over, so I thought I'd kind of leave them there, just as a sort of hint, as in terms of to make it seem like maybe there was a point here and they've basically removed it and removed the track work along here. So that's kind of how I've decided to kind of play that. And then I've just basically shoved a load of foliage and stuff like that and tried to make it look overgrown, and I am so pleased with the results, to be honest with you. Also, I've weathered the track in the same way as I've been doing, so again it looks like it's been the fencing probably does need a bit more work on it. I've actually just put that up today, the fencing, so it looks probably a bit too brown at the moment, and probably could do with a bit of a wash in order to tone it down maybe. So that might be something I might do. But when I look at it like that from ground level, I'm pretty impressed with the view that I'm getting through the viewfinder, to be honest. Like I said, I've just moved the nuclear flask wagons just so you can get a full view of what it's like. And then that kind of bit is to make it out like the path sort of goes off towards the houses. So that's kind of what I've decided to do. I'm yet to put some speed signs and stuff like that. So the idea is that the nuclear flask train would probably come into here, and then after would be broken up and then separated and then transferred onto these sidings here. So the one thing I've still got to do is do the actual roof, the fencing, the actual proper barbed wire fencing for now. So I've still got a bit more ratio fencing, which is this fencing along here, and I might put it down the end down here, but I'm not sure yet how the route is going to take of the other ratio fencing, the actual proper security fencing, which is probably going to go along here. But like I said to you before, this is kind of loosely based on Bridgewater nuclear flask terminal. If you can see clips on it on YouTube, and basically it will kind of you'll see the sort of environment that I'm trying to establish and I'm trying to get at. I'm still contemplating whether to put some more static grass down or whether to leave it, because I'm not sure whether or not, I don't want to overdo it, is basically what I'm getting at. I'm just going to bring the nuclear flasks here and then so you can sort of see what we're getting at. So the idea is, I think now that 37 or whatever loco is available would bring the nuclear flasks in, and then the flasks would be shunted out and then brought into the sidings here. And this other siding here, see, because I was toying with the idea and I haven't quite figured it out, I'm still doing a bit of research on it. I was thinking of possibly maybe getting another nuclear flask terminal, another nuclear flask F&A, and make this into 3. The other option would be is that some formations, it's quite tricky because I've been trying to look at some of the formations, and it seems that sometimes the formations could either be 2 locos generally, plus 2 or 3 FNAs on their own, being these wagons. But sometimes in the old days, and they'd use barrier wagons, usually RNAs, which are like the coal hoppers sort of thing, and they'd be used as barrier wagons, and usually there'd be one at the front and maybe one at the back, and then they could either be another loco at the back behind that, or a brake van, and then there'd be 2 locos at the, so there's various formations. So I'm just kind of toying with the idea of how to make use of the length and operating potential of this whole section, really, as to whether 2 is enough or whether I could get a third one, or whether it'd be more interesting to have a couple of barrier wagons, and then that would add a bit more of a shunting interest in terms of having to move the RNAs or the barrier wagons out of the way to get to the nuclear flask wagons and then bring them over here, if you're with me. So I'm still sort of toying with that idea, but generally speaking, on the whole, I'm far happier with this than I was with the tunnel. It's definitely more believable, it's definitely more open, and I 100% prefer this look than I had before. And like I said, it is seem a bit odd that you've got this quite close to the housing at the back, but in reality, if you look at the Bridgewater, that was actually the case, and that was also one of the reasons why this sort of warehouse was put here, because there was also some other warehouses and industrial units within Bridgewater. So that's kind of where I took my whole inspiration from, and like I said, I've done the weathering on this side, and also add the woodland scenics. Now the Morwood section of it, where this attaches to, that will probably, the track configuration will probably change slightly towards that, but I haven't quite decided yet how that's going to happen. What I really wanted to do is get this done. My next job that I'd really want to do now, I've decided to get rid of the tunnel and have got rid of it, is to possibly put the barriers up and work out a route for the actual main barriers itself. And then I like the idea of like this wooden fencing is here, and there's also a bit of a gap, so it creates a bit of depth. So you can also create a bit of a footpath as well. So if I just show you, you can sort of see that there's a footpath behind there that leads all the way down. I've got a couple of pieces left, so I'm not sure whether to use those other couple of pieces along here, or whether I'm going to put the security fencing along here. I'm not quite sure yet, so I just haven't quite decided on that bit yet. But so far so good. So that's about the sum of what I've been up to. I'll be interested to hear your thoughts as always, and all comments and are all appreciated, whether they're good, bad or indifferent. It's always appreciated. I like reading them and all the rest of it. So please feel free to comment and subscribe as always, and I will speak to you soon when I have more information to give you. So bye for now.